Good day once again. It's Alicia Hariprasad here, and this is my next video on active and passive voice. So I just want to go through it with you with some examples as well, a little bit of tips. I think that might be quite useful. So basically, the active voice is used when the person is doing the action, right? So the subject is known and is essential to the meaning or the purpose of the sentence. For example, the students forgot to do their homework, right? It's essential to know who forgot in this sense, right? So let's look at passive very quickly. Passive voice is usually used when it is not necessary to know or we don't know who or what did the action. So what they have done is not so important, right? So here, for example, you can say the homework was forgotten by the students. So here we are emphasizing when you're looking at active and passive voice, the subject is one of the main things that changes in the sentence structure. Please remember that. So if you want to change from the active to the passive form, there's a few things you need to keep in mind, all right? So let's look at an example of the active voice very quickly, right? In the active voice, when we're changing from the active to the passive form, you're firstly going to divide the sentence into subject, verb, and object. In this way, it's going to make it very easy for you to do the conversions of the sentence. Now, in the active voice, I is the subject, right? In this sentence, will clean. Now, that is the verb, and then the kitchen is the object. So that makes I will clean the kitchen. So I is the subject, will clean is the verb, and the kitchen is the object. Now, in the process of this conversion, look at the next step now with me. You will move the object to the beginning of the sentence in order to make it passive voice. So in the passive voice, right? The kitchen is now the subject. Will be cleaned is the verb. By. See, we're adding a preposition there. By me, and me becomes the object, right? So it's basically a change of sentence structure. In most cases, yeah, we normally don't pay attention to it because it means the same thing. However, when you're doing a conversion as such, and especially if you've been graded for it, it's important to know that from active to passive, there is a change in structure, and in the passive voice, active and passive voice, the subjects are different, very different. And in that sense, in the passive voice, in this sense, there is a preposition that has been added. And then, I really want to pay attention to some of the important changing pronouns that happen when you are switching from active to passive voice. And some of the examples are as follows. So in the active voice, we use I, we, you, he, she, it, they, and then these things become, in the passive voice now, I becomes me, we becomes us, you remains as you, he becomes him, she becomes her, it remains as it, they becomes them. That's just some of the pronouns that change. And I just want to go through a few more examples of active voice and how it becomes passive voice so that you get the hang of this conversion. It's very simple, but it's just something that you need to pay attention to because some people still get them wrong. All right, so number one, I closed the door. That's active voice. Passive voice is now, the door was closed by me. Can you see that conversion? Exactly what I explained. Number two, we eat sausages. Sausages are eaten by us. Right? Active voice again. You sing a song. Passive. A song is sung by you. Number four, he checked the boys' work. That is active. Now on to the passive. The boys' work was checked by him. And you can see the prepositions there as I've explained. You can see the change in the subject, and that gives you the gist of it. All right. You will hear from me soon for our next section.